let's take a look at dependent events. On page 777, it says, if two events A and B are dependent, then the probability of both events occurring is the product of the probability of A and the probability of B after A occurs. So the difference between this and independent is that once A occurs, B is affected. So if the outcome of one event affects the outcome of another event, the events are called dependent events. For example, you have a bag with blue and green marbles. You pick one marble, do not put it back in the bag, and pick another one. Whatever you pick for the first marble is going to have an effect on the probability of picking on the next marble. There are 4 oranges, 7 bananas, and 5 apples in a fruit basket. Ignacio selects a piece of fruit at random, and then Terrence selects a piece of fruit at random. It says find the probability that 2 apples are chosen. Well, what would be the probability of choosing an apple from the fruit basket when it has 4 oranges, 7 bananas, and 5 apples? Well, there are 5 apples in the fruit basket, and there are a total of 16 pieces of fruit, because 4 plus 7 plus 5 equals 16. So 5 out of 16 are apples. Once one apple is chosen out of the fruit basket, there are no longer 5 apples in the fruit basket. There are only 4. But also, there's no longer 16 pieces of fruit in that fruit basket. Because one piece has been taken out, there would now only be 15 pieces of fruit. So the probability of the second person, Terrence, picking up an apple after Ignacio has already selected one would only be 4 out of 15. Before I multiply these two numbers together, I want to simplify. 5 goes into 15 3 times, so I'm left with 1 on top and 3 on the bottom. 4 goes into 16 4 times, so I'm left with 1 on top and 4 on the bottom. So I can multiply 1/4 times 1/3, and I will find that there is a 1 in 12 chance that both boys would pick an apple out of the fruit basket. Let's take a look at another one of those. Let's go down to letter problem number C. It says, refer to the situation above, find each probability. And it asks for, on C, what is the probability of orange followed by apple? What is the probability of picking an orange out of the basket? Well, we know that there are 16 pieces of fruit in the basket to begin with. So we're starting over. The basket is full again. There are 16 pieces of fruit in the basket, and of those 16, 4 of them are oranges. So the probability of picking an orange is 4 out of 16. If I take an orange out of the basket, what would the probability of picking an apple be? Well, since there are no longer 16 pieces of fruit in the basket, because I took an orange out, the bottom number would become a 15. But how many apples are in the basket? Well, since we took an orange out of the basket to begin with, there are still 5 apples in that basket. So 5 out of 15 chance of picking an apple once I've picked an orange. I'm going to multiply those together, but before I do, I can go ahead and simplify my ratios. 4 goes into 16 4 times, so I get 1/4 here. 5 goes into 15 3 times, so I get 1/3 here. And curiously, this ends up being the same as the other problem because I get 1/4 times 1/3, which is 1/12. I wonder if you'll get 1/12 when you do 2 bananas. down below. I have a feeling it's not going to come out the same, but you can try that one on your own.